today, Rivers Hoopers are back in action against the home team, FUS Rabat. Well, they always say don't change a winning team. Ogo Adedu has decided to keep his starting five. So just the one change for the Hoopers. Well, what about FUS Rabat? They have retained their starting. Here we go, it's tip-off time, and the ball goes directly out of bounds. And we'll go again, it appears. Rivers Hoopers, FUS Rabat, Dianya. Tussling with Olasumeka. And it is the home team with Jordan picking up possession.
Well, you feel there's tension on the floor. Every possession is going to count in this game.
Well, there's Raphael Putney just getting Sweeter caught up as he tried to just twist and turn it. There we go, first foul. It's Olasumeka, in fact, who picks it up.
Yes, Abdel Hakim Zouita, the poster boy of this FUS Rabat team. He's one of their key players and go-to heavyweight in that paint.
Foot getting in the way for Olasumeka, swung out wide. Chance for a big three! Oh, that is the way to do it.
Zuzua talked about getting some shots in right before the game tipped off. So it seems that he's a man of his word, Zuzua.
No, but we know he can shoot. When he hits his range, he is dangerous. The response coming down that left side on Mayo. FUS Rabat looking to try and get their outside shots sorted. Zuzua just coming off the other side of the rim. But they take the first points of this encounter against Rivers Hoopers.
There's a bit of jitters there from the Rivers Hoopers.
Putney, Amayo, and a drive right through the paint. That's attempt to try and deal with that, but it's Munanga is unable to really get the pass into his teammates' hands.
Well, the idea was good for him to cut through that baseline and try to find an open man inside the paint, but unfortunately, he lost that possession.
Sweeter, Dianya, Zuzua picked up again by Sweeter. The experience, he goes for a baseline three, it doesn't drop. Picked up by that man, Maxi Shamba. Maxi Shamba sees a little bit of space, tries to drive through, and the foul has been committed on the player from the DRC. It's going to be Sweeter who picks up the foul.
Yeah, looking at the replay there, Maxi Shamba not feeling shy, going straight to that basket. He picks up that foul, and that's exactly what Coach Ogo wants him to do, to drive into that paint, attract the fouls, and now he doesn't make it count.
Zuzua picking up the foul, of course. Q, over to you.
Heavyweight matchups in almost every position. And I like the matchup between Shamba and Zuzua, one we need to keep an eye on.
One of many we need to keep our eye on, like you said. First point scored, Rivers Hoopers. Jordan takes it up. Caught. FUS Rabat looking to try and hit back from that loss against Al Ittihad. Zuzua, it's swung out. Picked up by Nui. Dianya coming to give him a little bit of helping hand. Little chip in. Oh, it just doesn't fall for Dianya. And it's the Hoopers who pick it up with Amayo. Putney running into trouble, trying to pump and get himself around. There's the follow-up rebound. Nicely done by Putney.
Well, we've talked about Putney's ability to shoot from behind the arc, but now inside that paint, he's proving to be a key player for the Rivers Hoopers.
Nui, nice passing around. Zuzua picks the ball up. He's got it back into Sweeter's hands. Shot clock down to 7. As Jordan, nicely done. Zuzua going for 3. It goes up, just comes back out. Getting a lot of shots in. Something that we'd like to see more of, which we are seeing more of with this FUS Rabat. Going on the outside, they are. Putney driving through, tries to tip it over the top. Picked up by Jordan. Picked up by Nui. Gets it back out to Dianya. Zuita going right through the middle. You won't stop him from there. Oh, it just comes back out. And it's Zamalek picking it up. How about that for a defensive deal? But afterwards, look at the big dunk there coming from the 7-footer. Putney.
There's so much action going on the court. You can't even catch up end to end here. And that's exactly the thrilling action that we expected here today.
And we're all level now, just 3.5 minutes in. Nui goes for a drive, gets it out wide. Zuzua, bounce pass. Well, the big man, Zuita, tries to climb up around those big River Hoopers players, and there is a foul that's been committed.
There is so many tall trees inside that paint, looking at Peter Olisameka and, of course, Putney. But the dunk right there, look at that. Maduta catch, blocked, but the ball falls into the hands of Putney, and he makes no mistake. 2 points for the Rivers Hoopers.
Chance for Zuita to get some points on the scoreboard.
Zuita scored the first points here of season 5 just yesterday against Al-Ittihad of Egypt. But today, of course, continuing on that performance from yesterday, and he'll be trying to make sure that he can lead FUS Rabat to that W.
7 points and 4 rebounds in yesterday's loss, of course, to Al-Ittihad of Alexandria. Oh, that's nicely done, just coasting down the baseline, but he can't get the points. Jordan picks it up. It's been flung up. Alley-oop! Oh, my! Knew he can't slam it down. So close.
He was in the right place at the right time, but unfortunately, he failed to connect nicely there for FUS Rabat.
Putney drops in for a big shot, big score. And up with a 3.
He's the man of the moment. 7 points for Putney, looking fresh and nice here early in the first quarter.
Nui, Diana. Oh, he's just... Zuita tries to get the rebound. Working hard. There is contact when he was trying to get the pass out. And I think that might be a foul.
Looking at the replay here, Putney with an incredible shot selection here, and drowns that 3 to go up to 7 points. He literally has 7 of Rivers Hoopers' 8 points.
It was a foot on the baseline rather than any kind of contact there in the thicket and the heat of the action. Rivers Hoopers lead by 3. Here's Kelvin Amayo. Not yet made his mark with any points, of course, after a fine showing in his opener. Goes for a 3. Possession picks up once again by the Hoopers. Amaya with 19 points yesterday and 2 assists. Would like to see him with more assists, maybe, you know, bring in Olisameka, understand how they function with Manok at catch as well. And there we go, a catch underneath the ring, scores the points and makes it a 5-point lead.
It is a beautiful finish from the South Sudanese.
Oh, brilliant follow-up from Diane. Look at that, very aggressive, wasn't it, from Zuzua to drive right through the middle. Good follow-up, good rebound.
Well, Diane off the mark with good energy there.
Missed shot there from Maxi Shamba. Zuzua. Oh. Little problem with the strobes, but they'll just come over to UQ. No timeout. So 10 points for the Rivers Hoopers, 7 for FUS Rabat, and we shall be back in a moment.
How they're supposed to move on the defensive end. He's not happy with some of the coverage and too much time and space for some of these FUS Rabat players.
And talking about defense, Olisameka there with a great steal to force the Rivers Hoopers into transition. But a great reaction from FUS Rabat.
Yeah, good work from Nui, just preventing Mayo. Nearly steals the ball. Finally, it's in the hands of the Hoopers, who go again with Maxi Shamba. And picks up by Mayo Nui. flung out. Oh, big shot, big shot. Made Akej with a fantastic three. We know that he can shoot big from outside. He's done it again.
That's exactly what he was signed to do on this team. Give them a great offensive option on the perimeter, and he's able to deliver on that possession.
Zuzua, shot clock down to 4. Needs to get his shot in. Suita through the middle. That's brilliant play. Excellent work from Tiani. And we see the man and what he's really meant to do, because slashing through and causing all sorts of problems in the paint is exactly what you expect from the big guy.
His confidence has grown right from tip-off. You can see that he's continuing to be a problem in that paint, and now he has an opportunity to make it a three-point play as FUS Rabat try to enter the double digits on the offensive side.
We've seen zone defenses used against FUS Rabat in last season, and it might be something that I think Rivers Hoopers will flirt with later on in this contest.
FUS Rabat trailing by 4. Nui drives through. That's all by himself. I mean, you know, you've got to just give it to him. The boulevard opened up. He said, I'm going to go straight through and you know, unchallenged.
Well, great to see Nohi do that. He's been doing all the dirty work on defense, but look at him slicing through that paint of the Rivers Hoopers. They couldn't stop him. Olisameka was nearby in the paint, but he couldn't do much about it. Yesterday, he was frustrated and just made 5 points.
Oh, look at that from Jordan. Massive score there as well. Putney picking up a second foul in the process earlier.
He is a central key player here for the Rivers Hoopers, so that's not surprising.
Putney goes for 3, out wide. Nui picks it up. A little bit of contact with the leg from Madadekech, and they'll get possession back. FUS, the Rabat.
Looking at the replay here, Nuhi was trying to cross over, and the ball ended up on the shoe of Madut Akech. Of course, he's trying to say it wasn't his fault, but, you know, FUS Rabat have the ball possession.
We got the big 18-year-old BAL Elevate player, David Ike, coming on. And here's Nui going out loads of time to hit his 3. Doesn't make it. Picks up by Madut Akech. Gets it back, goes for 3 himself. It's a solid shot there. Aerial bombardment of the finest order from the South Sudan hitman.
Well, that is typical Madut Akech, bringing that fire on the offensive side, and up to 8 points for the Rivers Hoopers.
3-point lead. Jordan, 2:30 left in the first quarter. Interesting tussle so far. Nui picks the ball up, slices through the middle, gets it back out. Suita, step back. Shot comes off and picked up by Maxi Shamba. They go quickly into transition. And there is Amayo, and there's the follow-up rebound, Olisameka.
Olisameka cleaning up nicely there for the Rivers Hoopers. He's been immense on defense, but finally he gets rewarded for all of his efforts. 5-point lead against FUS Rabat.
Well, this game is being played at a high pace and intensity. You blink and it's a 2-possession switch-up, and I think that's what, a theme we might see resonate throughout this particular game.
Ben Maheen to Jordan. Jordan for 3. Snatched out of the sky, flung up there, and it's a good opportunity. Little bit of hesitation, doesn't manage to get his score. Great work, great work from Peter Olisameka with the rebound.
That is back-to-back baskets for Peter Olisameka. You can see the energy that he brought in that rebound and how he was able to twist and turn until he got those 2 points for the Rivers Hoopers.
And a timeout's being called as we see the replays. The Olisameka, good strength, pumping, and then rising and scoring the 2 points there. There's a BAL ambassador, NBA legend, of course, Yakim Noah, always following this fabulous competition here, the BAL-Africa League, Season 5, and a 7-point lead for the Hoopers.
Yes, a legend from the Chicago Bulls, who recently got his jersey retired, and of course always courtside supporting the growth of African basketball through the BAL. Incredible.
2013. Q, we're going to come over to you because FUS Rabat, I imagine, trying to understand exactly what they're, what's going on. We got the team stats going. Carry on, Q, over to you.
Well, look, what they are really looking at has been trying to close off on the offensive glass. Olisameka has been a real presence inside the paint, and definitely trying to refine around that. And Coach Albazidi also talking about the high pick and roll action on the offensive end.
Akech Putney, 8-7 points. Field goal, 3-5, 3-7. Lots of rebounds. Olisameka with 5 rebounds already. Just to give you an idea of, you know, what he brings to the game. He's not just about, you know, the physical player who's just going to get tangled up with all of the bigs coming through, but he also goes and makes that ball safe on the rebound, and he can score as well.
Yes, of course, Olisameka, one of the primary leaders on the court for the Rivers Hoopers, and trying to always make sure that he's consistent on both sides of the court. That's exactly what Coach Ogo wants from him.
Ben Mahine gets it down into the corner. It's Zuita to Kudu, and racing along the baseline. There's David Ike getting in the way, and it will be Zuita going to the free throw line.
Yeah, that's one of the matchups that, of course, we have to keep an eye on. Zuita up against Ike Ugona, who's been growing in leaps and bounds.
Foul from Madad Akech, in fact. Q, we're going to come over to you because I think that they've got to be present here. We've saw that the Zuzua can hit threes. We know that he can. A little bit more of that, just to, you know, give them options.
Yeah, I like the aggression from Zuzua early. He's got to keep that kind of pace and tempo going, because right now John Jordan hasn't been a factor offensively for FUS.
Here is a catch of South Sudan, falling over AS Douane. Oh, it just opens up for him. Kudu getting in the way. And that's a strong climb to try and get the ball off the backboard. And Kudu, who's 39 years of age, putting in a pretty good defensive block, but there is contact.
And talking about Kudu, really one of the biggest faces here in Moroccan basketball. So much experience. He's played for the national team for over a decade. And together with Zuita, they've had incredible memories representing the Kingdom of Morocco.
40 in May. Still going strong. Putting in big minutes as well. Olisameka. Trying to keep the ball in play, tries to fling it back to his teammate Nui, but it just sneaks over the line. So it will be the Hoopers who regain possession here. Olisameka. It's going to be an offensive foul, and you can see that FUS Rabat will pick up possession.
Well, FUS Rabat, of course, bringing so much pressure here. You can see that Ben Himi and Madut Akech got entangled there with their feet. It has been called as an offensive foul, and FUS Rabat will regain possession. 5-point game, but of course both sides understanding that there's margins here. 4 points for Olisameka, 2 personal fouls, which is a bit of a concern as the Rivers Hoopers are now in official foul trouble. So any foul, and
you go straight to the free throw line.
Yep.
That's just exactly what happened with Okiki, because he just got in the way of Zuzua. Straight to the free throw line, and another chance to just cut down that 5-point deficit.
Yeah, of course, Zuzua was he started the game with a lot of energy, that big three-pointer to open up the gates for FUS Rabat, but now he's back. He makes it 4 personal points, but there's still so much basketball to be played as we look at Mike Fofana, one of the key players for this FUS Rabat team coming off
Top scoring for FUS Rabat with 5 points. And a chance for Kelvin Amayo to dance up court. Zuita trying to keep him in close tabs. David Ike. Mayo again, shot clock down to 4. You need to go for a shot now. He goes right through the middle. Ike, oh, it doesn't manage to go. Great defense. Kudu trying to get his hands on that. There was a little bit of contact. It wasn't intentional, but we might have to take a look at that. I think the arm of Kudu came back into the face of Okiki.
Very unfortunate there, but looking at the replay, the block, rim protector Zuita blocking Ike Ugonna and saying there is no space here, you can go home.
Q, over to you.
Well, from what I can see is that they're going to let play continue, and it was a scary moment, as you called out live, but the referee's happy to just call that open play.
Good. Move on. Okiki. Just giving Maxi Shamrat a little bit of a break. It comes out. There's a long-range shot for Ike right over the top, but it's been picked up by Olasameka. And again, it's Zuita. Now, this is a little bit of an issue because he'll pick up his second foul here.
You can see that Zuita second foul, Olasameka on 2 fouls as well. So it's definitely one of those matchups that we've been talking about. But of course, coming up against Kudu and Zuita in that paint, there's no way he was going to have it easy.
And Patni is on the bench with 2 fouls as well for the Rivers Hoopers.
4.2 seconds remaining here in this first quarter. And of course, this will give them a chance to just gather, find out what shot they're going to produce with 4.2 seconds left to play before we bring an end to this first quarter. But 3 points separating the Hoopers and FUS Rabat, I think, is Team the Rivers Hoopers in their opening clash. And it was a solid victory, to be honest with you, beating Stade Malien 81-60.
Yes, and he's 2 for 2 behind the arc. That's 100% shooting, as you've seen there on the stats leaderboard. And impressive.
4.2 seconds to go. Madaga gets, goes for 3, hits the 3. It's a buzzed up beater. Look at that. Clutch shot big time, 23-17. That is how to do it. Legendary scoring from Madaga Ketch. And we will take a break. What? Wait. Q, help me. Where did that come from?
I have no idea, but he is having an outstanding game when he turns the ball over.
Zazua goes out. That's a fabulous layup. Drive aggressively. Big time scoring there. He's up to 7.
Well, Zazua is now showing that he's the go-to man at the start of every quarter, bringing that energy, and that's what they need for Rabat in this game.
Okay, gets it back out. Noiri picks it up. And there's Amayo, of course. Shot clock down to 3. Oh, drop it in. Massive score there for Kiki Afuape. Brilliant.
Oh, Kiki has been doing a lot of work on defense, and finally he gets a range shooter there, a jumper. He needed it for his confidence. There was that scare earlier in that first quarter, but now he's looking good and could make it a 3-point play.
Well, key stat from that first quarter is the 10 offensive rebounds, 19 total boards for the Rivers Hoopers. They have been dominant on the glass, and that has been a factor in how they've managed to compile this lead.
Traveling call going against Ben Amin. And they give the ball back to the Hoopers.
Yeah, that's good defense from Kelvin Amayo. He's not scored points yet, but he's been doing so much work there on Nuhi on defense.
But sometimes when you're expected, you know, when you play your first game and you score a whole, you know, bag of points, as we see a brilliant drive going through. It's just sensational. He is just in top form, 28-19. Just look what he's doing.
He's up to 13 points, first player in double digits there in this game, Maduta Ketch.
Great drive there from Nui. Attracts a lot of attention. It's It's Akechi will pick up a second foul with that drive through the paint from Nui. And he'll go straight to the free throw line.
Yeah, Robbie, there's definitely a great distribution there of fouls between the key players for both these teams. But looking at Nuhi's drive into that paint, it's the second time that he's doing it in this game, and he's realized that, you know what, if he does it, he could actually get a free trip to the free throw line.
A free ticket to the free throw line.
Yes.
Right now, it is the job of FUS Rabat to figure out how to stop this red-hot scoring from Madut Akechi. I'm not sure if they even have an answer, because he is a coverage problem because of his ability to stretch the floor and get inside all at the same time.
A few decades ago, we'd say tie his laces together. Great chance. Big shot, big shot. How about that? It goes in. Zouzoua hits three, and FUS Rabat
Incredible.
reeled him in a little bit.
From Zouzoua, he is the man with the hot hand right there, and he has FUS Rabat staying alive against the Hoopers.
Double figures now for the Ivorian. But the trouble is, he's picked up his third foul.
Yeah, that's a big problem, and you can see the coaching staff of FUS Rabat toying with the idea of bringing him to the bench. And that's exactly what Madut can do. He's driving into that paint and, of course, exposing Zouzoua there on defense, and he heads to the bench, but you can see he's a bit apologetic for the foul.
And of course, just on the pile of points that he's just dropping into his swag bag is just ridiculous. Akechi up to 14 points. Zouzoua is forced to go to the bench, and there's a 7-point lead. But look at Akechi, he's up to 14. 3 from 3 points, and is shooting at the free throw line, looking slick as well until then.
Yeah, he's 1 for 2 on the free throw line, Madut Akechi.
Back out to Jordan. Waits for support. Diani, he's got Fofana. There's a chance for them with Beiri. Jordan goes around the outside, goes through the inside. Oh, come on! Jordan hitting 2+1.
That's a big bucket there from Jordan. He's been trying to find that rhythm in this game. You can see the way he goes through 3 Rivers Hoopers players, and finally Ike Ugona falls for that kind of artistry here. 0 points, 2 fouls for Jordan, and he's going to try and make sure that he changes that.
There's so many interesting battles that are taking place.
There's so much going on the court, but Rivers Hoopers, of course, with the ball possession and seeing how they can increase this lead.
Kevin Amayo, still no points on the board. Akechi is just piling them up. That time, it's just a little bit short. Possession back in the hands of Amayo. Diania just defensively holding him up. 5-point lead, 7:47 left to play in the second quarter.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about the physicality of this game. Ike Ugona doing so much of that work in that paint. But you can see Coach Ogo changed a couple of tactics there, brings back Olisemeka and Patni, who were very crucial in that first quarter 6-point lead.
It's a bit of a gamble here from Coach Odadu with both Olisemeka and Patni on 2 fouls apiece.
Yeah, so it is risky business, but I mean, you know, they believe in their cause. Maxi Shamba, shot clock down to 2, it's a big one. Oh no! Where did that come from? Out of space, out of nowhere, Amayo mania.
Well, Amayo always making things look easy there, and easy bucket for his first 3 points in this game.
Big shot there, Ben Maheen. He goes over the top. There's the attempt to try and get it in by Diania. 32-24. And the Hoopers go charging up into the lane. And again, Amayo causing all sorts of issues in this FUS Rabat defense.
He is transitioning his defense, incredible defense, into offense with that three-pointer, and now driving into that paint. You can see the precision that he was trying to go up with. But Bailey is the man that has fouled him, and he goes to the free throw line. Looking at Ike Ugona, the BAL Elevate player from the NBA Africa Academy. Just looking good and trying to make sure that he uses the minutes that he gets on the court. And of course, such an inspiration for so many Nigerian teenagers back home who are supporting him in Port Harcourt and really across the country.
That's great work. Look at that. It's fantastic defensive play there from Jordan, just keeping the ball away from Zamalek. It goes up! It goes in! Berry bringing it on for FUS Rabat.
That is Berry, the man who knows the bearing on this court, just drowning that three-pointer from the baseline.
Berry.
Berry.
Big shot coming in. What is going on? Mayo doubling up with his three-pointer there from downtown.
Wow, what a back-to-back, action that we're experiencing here. It's a shooting clinic.
6:25. Jordan's bit of space. Needs to make a decision. Gets it out. Ben Maheen down in the corner. Bailey fancied his chances down on the baseline. Amayo goes driving in. Get out of there. But there was an initial foul, and he'll go to the free throw line.
Kelvin Amayo definitely has what it takes to put defenders on skates, but he found Diane in that paint, very strong, and there's contact from Ben Himi, but he'll go to the free throw line with an opportunity to extend this lead past 10 points.
Basket counted on that because the block came in after it touched the backboard, so it's going to just shoot one.
A three-point play it is. Well, that was just a run, wasn't it? Rivers Hoopers take an 11-point lead. Timeout it is. And the FUS Rabat need to plunge into the think tank. We'll take a break and we'll be back.
Et maintenant, sur le parquet de la BIL, ici à Rabat, maximum de bruit pour la FUS Academy!
Welcome back to Rabat. Look at the team. 3 fouls. You've got to think that it's risky business now.
Yeah, risky business as he is on the bench. But Kelvin Amayo with 0 points in the first quarter and a quick 10 here, even before we get to halfway in the second quarter. That tells you a player that can be dependable.
Right, it's just a little bit hard off the glass there from Diane. It was a good opportunity. You've got to seize those moments, seize every opportunity you get. Rebounds, offensive ones. Vital.
You talk about vital here. We have an interesting matchup, Amayo and Benhemi.
Shot clock, yeah, look at the shot clock. He's down to 3, he's going. He's trying to go through. Oh, there's a touch of the net there, and yeah, that's just going to be the Hoopers who take advantage. Diane getting in the way.
Offensive interference, and they'll pick up 2 points. Gives me a chance to just talk about what we saw in the FUS Rabat huddle and the focus. Talking to John Jordan, they want him to take a little bit more responsibility on the offensive end and kind of pick up the scoring that Zuzwa was doing in the first quarter.
Well, we've seen earlier that you can't have just one player that you are depending on offensively. There has to be multiple sources.
That is fantastic. So Zwiza, when he wants to, he can do anything. And just showing just how it should be done. Baseline, drive, excellent strength as well, and a fantastic score for the Moroccan team. And then you've got that. Where did that come from? Wow. Astronomic, glorified, dropping in from a different stratosphere. Oh, reverse dunk, beautiful. Beautifully done from Zuita. Come on, this is top quality, 5-star.
Before we couldn't even express ourselves on that three-pointer from Madu Takej, which makes it 4 3-pointers for the South Sudanese.
Big game this one for both teams, of course, as we see that man, Maxi Shamba, trying to find the player from South Sudan. Putney goes up, tries to get away from his man. It goes out and picks up there by Berry. Up to Ben Maheen. Great drive and a good score as well. Excellent fast transition and an important score that was for FUS Rabat.
Well, he's cooking there, Benhimi. You can see what it meant. Of course, he's complaining that he thinks there was a foul, but great for FUS Rabat to really stay in this game. It's a 10-point game, but FUS Rabat, incredible. Look at that finish from Madu Takej from Alia. Best line, easy, and the connect there from Jordan to Zwita. Just turn around dunk, nothing special, you know.
I can ask Hugh afterwards once he's finished with the timeout, you know, with his spying stuff. You know, if he's ever done one of those.
No, he's done for me. I've seen him.
He does other stuff, doesn't he?
Yeah.
During his career.
It's an easy thing, and you know what? We have his former coach from 2003 when South Africa stunned Senegal. Sam Vincent, who's sitting here courtside, he's been able to tell us and prove that Q was a menace on the court and in the paint.
We know he was. We know he was.
We know.
We'll hear it from him as well.
Yes, for sure.
Just a bit of backup. Q, were you there? Have you been listening in?
I unfortunately caught the tail part of our conversation. And yes, Sam Vincent is here, and it's interesting to have him courtside for some verification. Nonetheless, when we come back to the game, a timeout here from Coach Oga Odadu, just to bring some semblance of a break in the scoring for FUS Rabat, trying to kill their run and give back some organization on the offensive end.
It's important, isn't it, where you see Sayed El Bouzidi as well, the head coach of FUS Rabat, trying to understand and trying to work out what's happening here. Almayo, shot clock down to 10. Putney picks it up. Listen, it's all perfect. Patchworking, you know, a masterpiece is something unique. That was delightful. Putney finishing it off. Great team move.
There's definitely a ball magnet in that corner. Madu Takej has already scored from there, and now Putney literally putting his name on that corner to make sure that they extend this lead. 13 points, that's the difference between the Rivers Hoopers and FUS Rabat.
Diam just trying to get the ball back off Maxi Shamba so they get possession. There's Jordan. Ben Maheen picks it up. Jordan driving through, that's excellent. Hook over the top, that is sublime. What a wonderful touch he has, and that's a big score for Jordan, who's up to 6.
That is a sensational finish. Q talked about him taking that offensive role and digging deep with this FUS Rabat team, and now he's executing.
Picture by Maxi Shamba. He's flat out on the floor after getting tangled up with Dianya, and that's straight up to the free throw line. FUS Rabat with 5 team fouls, and there's the man of the moment, Madu Takej, with 15 points, leading the boards across both teams. Fabulous long-range shooting, but also support, passing, everything.
Well, absolutely. 4 3-pointers before the halftime break is incredible by any means necessary here in the Basketball Africa League. But frustration there from Maxi Shamba Munanga, who misses his first 3-pointer. I mean, his first free throw. But you can see 1 point, 2 assists, and he would want to increase that. So it's 2 points for the man.
12-point lead and 3:12 left to play. Jordan straight up the other end, get it moving. Azuga's come on. Berry. Jordan. Azuga trying to turn around his man. That's a nice score as well. Didn't he do fantastically to deal with Coco?
Yeah, he did well. Azuga is always that impact player. We saw a lot of that in season 4 last year, especially in Pretoria, and he would want to build on that experience here.
Rafael Putney, new recruit for the Rivers Hoopers. He's turned, he's tried to get himself. Oh, there's a bit of contact on Jordan. It was accidental, but he fell over. It was Coco. Fanny Coco just fell over Jordan. You can see that he went down quite hard. He's going to be fine. And they get possession. Foul committed. But look at the wrestling match there between Olasemeka and Suita. It's fantastic. Hugh wants to get in there as well.
That's great boxing out from Jordan. You can see what it means for him in terms of just playing great defense for FUS Rabat. But Coco Jr., the young brother of Vincent Coco, who was captain of the Rivers Hoopers last season and saw them go all the way to finish third in season 4.
That is fabulous. Bide your time, wait for your moment. Nui doing the damage, and I think that Kevin Amayo knew about it afterwards as well.
Yeah, that's definitely going to the Instagram highlights reel. I can tell you for sure.
Bad pass, picked up by Suita. Oh, Nui just couldn't control. He was already thinking about the next thing that was happening.
Yeah,
2 minutes to go.
He was thinking ahead of himself, Nui.
Look at that. That's a fantastic maneuver, isn't it?
Look at that. Incredible fake for Nui, and he scores that basket. You can see what it means to him. And he was trying to do the same thing earlier.
Well, there's a factor that we haven't spoken about that's starting to gain prominence, and that's the crowd. The Rivers Hoopers have played well enough to keep the crowd out of it, but right now, the crowd is starting to get back into it, and you can see the momentum starting to shift on the floor.
A lunging move there for Jordan, who will pick up his second foul as we come into the last 1:45. But the problem is they're on 5 team fouls, so it's every time free throw line can't make mistakes like that because they're just easy points for the Rivers Hoopers.
Well, depending on, of course, the strategy for the Rivers Hoopers, and knowing Coach Odaudu, this is something that he likes to milk, if you can put it bluntly. He will try to ask his players to drive into that paint, and partly missing the first free throw. Frustrated, of course, but he'll definitely want to correct that with this second attempt.
Putney getting the second, 48-39. Nui. 4 points so far. Berry, foul, and that is going to be Akech on the second. Just rising and moving the leg, that's all it took. Just to try and thwart him as he tried to find that channel around the outside.
I mean, 2 personal fouls for 4 players there for the Rivers Hoopers. Madu Takech, Olisemeka, Putney, and Ike Ugona. So that's 3 of 4 starters. Not a worry right now, but they'll have to keep an eye on that.
Nui goes up for 3. Rolls out. Made safe by Akech at the back. Goes high. Too far.
Putney was right in the middle of traffic. Nui not giving him any space, and it is a turnover there for the Rivers Hoopers as Jordan tries to slow things down for FUS Rabat.
1:15 left to play. Jordan, Suita, looking for options. Has it with Bayeri. Down into the corner, Nuhi. Zuga trying to get around. That's nicely done. That's a fantastic score. Love the way that he spun so elegantly around Akech. That was a delight to the eye.
That's a great fighting spirit there from Azuga. He's already scored some very important points here for FUS Rabat at the right time to keep the momentum going for the home side.
Patience in the paint is going to be vital for the bigs. That is nearly a score there for Putney. Now a good chance this is for FUS Rabat to get back. They trail by 7. And that is going to be Suita driving through and attracting attentions. He'll go straight to the free throw line. 5 fouls for Rivers Hoopers.
5 team fouls for the Rivers Hoopers. And looking at the replay there, Azuga up against the catch. There's a bit of a size issue, but he finds his arm under Madu Takech. eyes on the basket, and 2 points for FUS Rabat.
Fabulous way, Q, you'll know all about this in the paint, of course, as a former player. But we saw Azuga, he put his arm around Maket, so he's basically opening up, you know, his pathway. And after that, Maket can't defend it because he can't move into the man.
No, great space separation from Azuga. He uses all of his footwork and his skill, and it's a tough cover when he does catch it with his back to the basket.
22 left to play. We've got a differential of about 6. Akech picks it up, driving right through the middle, tries to go around. That's an incredible defensive play. It goes way over the top. There's the rebound, because he's always there. He's so dangerous. Now, 7 seconds left to play. Jordan takes it quick. It's 50-42. Jordan goes up for 3. Doesn't fall. There's the rebound, and the rebound. But is there anything there? There's no foul at all. It's an 8-point lead for Rivers Hoopers at half-time. Interesting battle. The tussle will continue in the third quarter. But how about that? Rivers Hoopers with an 8-point lead. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll take a look at the highlights from the first half. What do you think about that, Usher?
Incredible.
Let's do it.